Yeah, it's -2 degrees and already freezing on a local lake. And yeah, we got ice on the lake. We even got the air bubbles under the ice. It's early in the morning and it's cold, wet, cold. You know, dry cold doesn't bite into your face, but the wet cold actually does. And yeah, behind me there is the lake, and if you look at these red berries, yeah, you can collect them, dry them, make a tea of it, and what they call, I haven't got a clue what they're called. Well, I got the name in Germany somewhere in my brain, but I don't know how they call in English. But you may know how they Hagebutten, what's they called in Germany. I don't know. It's this red longish berries, you know, and it's a winter fruit, which well, you can eat them. Takes the inner stuff out and keeps you going a bit. Here we are again at my new favorite spot in the woods. You see this oak in the background. Yeah, I tell you what, it's blimey cold, and but not too bad. It was actually drizzling in the morning, sort of getting up to about 0 around lunchtime, but now it's about -1, and as you can see, I'm wrapped up in my favorite coat. Yeah, this is the Russian greatcoat. Anyway, as you can see, I got this nice little fur collar. Yeah, it actually used to be bluish gray, and it's actually, well, the Russian translated call it a squirrel, yeah, like from the red squirrel, like with a furry tail, yeah. And actually I dyed that in hazel brown, yeah, because it's the bluish didn't really match, and the inner of the coat is of the collar, it's actually green as well, like the coat, yeah. So actually now it's actually matching really nice, and even with my rucksack. Look, yeah, I'm on a small pack today. And wanted to show you something I was talking about last week, about gloves and woolly muppets. Yeah, the muppets, the socks, and there are lots of different kinds of socks and gloves and mittens and finger gloves and fingerless gloves like this ones, yeah. And thin gloves and thick gloves and all sorts. And I thought putting my Dynamere washing line up for today and explain you a bit about gloves and socks today, yeah. And to keep warm in the cold, especially fingers, yeah, they tend to get really icy cold, like, and yeah. Let's get onto it. There was actually an additional reason why I came here. Yeah, see my hook here. Last week I forgot to take that out. Yeah, I'm rushing and packing up my stuff, but the hook is still sitting there. Look, it's camouflage. You can't see that from the distance, and it's still sitting here. So I'm now putting my rucksack up on this hook again, Yeah, just like putting it up, and it's sitting there. And hopefully I'm not forgetting taking that. So that was a good thing to have another go. But well, it just happened to stay there because I wanted to come back regularly to this spot anyway. But well, it's nice, it's sitting there. Yeah, yeah, this is a Dynamere cord I actually made up. Yeah, the one with the twin and joining together and splitting up again. So I'm having all these gaps here, which makes it really easy to hang up stuff without having any clamps or sticks. And I'm using that one. Haven't tried that out before, so coming all together, using that. So I put that up there to the tree and going across and see what we can make up out of it. Just wanted to show you a quick one, how you can put a line up. Yeah, I mean, there's not really tension on it yet, but I just looped it up on the other end. But over here, I just put one of this tree hook or tree screw into it, and just by hanging the line up like on one end, and just carry on twisting the screw. Yeah, actually the line get tensioned up. Yeah, so just by twisting, I mean, it can't be any easier, is it? Yeah, it's a really nice greatcoat. Just it's yeah, just a bit lined with some cotton lining. Yeah, it's very thin and a bit felt underneath, but that's the Russian greatcoat. See, and actually this is the particularly this one is the border guards. Yeah, the actually a major, from a major, the officer, a major rank. Yeah, I had the shoulder flaps with it and the brass buttons. Yeah, but I swapped them over to some coconut wooden buttons and changed the color. Yeah, and yeah, so this makes a really nice winter coat, and I thought it's coming in sort of now. Yeah, and I'm actually boiling underneath. Yeah, I only got my Icelandic sweater underneath and the Woolpower t-shirt. Yeah, nothing else, and I'm actually boiling. Yeah, so it gives me enough space for movement without being restricted. Yeah, and on the back it's actually folding up like, yeah, so you can actually walk quite easily. Yeah, even if you got wide steps. Yeah, like your legs are always covered, and it's not 100% rainproof, but can cope with some extensive rain. Yeah, and it looks quite smart as well. I mean, I'm going into town with this one. It doesn't look military at all, and it's just a nice warm coat. Yeah, and so why not using it? Got a bit 2 pockets on the front. I got some, you know, like the hooks and some ropes in here, and so it makes it handy. I mean, it's not particularly a bushcraft coat, I know, but actually it adds up as a sort of temporarily bivy bag, if you can call it like that. But well, this is just a side effect. Yeah, what I wanted to talk about today is actually see in the background. Yeah, I put all this gloves and occasionally some socks up as well. I may have to get a bit closer with the camera to show you the individual one, because it's quite an extensive collection I put up. Let's have a look. I'm actually starting with this one. Yeah, this is this one, actually the Merino fluffy one. Yeah, it's really nice and thick and actually can take some sweat up. Yeah, it's not the liner, which is this one. Yeah, it's supposed to be Merino as well. Yeah, it's the same sort of shape, but it's much thinner than this one. So I was a bit disappointed to get that in the post, because it looks like that sealskin, for some reason, haven't got this in stock, the thicker one, yeah, which I bought 2 or 3 years ago. And then I wanted this one as a spare, well, another pair, and then I only had this one, you know, the liner thing. This is the thinner one. It got more sort of an elastic to it, but isn't as fluffy. That means it's probably quite nice in the mitten, you know, like, or in some larger gloves as an underlayer, as a liner. But for walking along and only using this one, this is basically the equivalent to the full finger glove, yeah. And well, just to complete this, this is the liner glove, and they do them in full finger as well, yeah. So this is a very thin elastic one, yeah. And so these two actually are the liner version, yeah. So now next one is the full finger glove. This in particular one is the Swedish military one. The Swedish military one, I bought that in the surplus shop for like 2 or 3 quid, yeah. They're sort of semi-used, not really used, but you know, old stock, and they are really nice actually. Yeah, and if you can get your hands onto one of this, a pair of this, yeah, the Swedish military one, it's a no-brainer. Just grab them. I mean, they only cost a few quid, and you can't go wrong with that one. Anyway, and they're wool, yeah, and they're short, you see, but they're really nice and cozy, and they're not itchy. They're really nice actually, and look, they even match my coat, yeah. So if I can go in style, and yeah, hello. And the next one, actually, there's some heavier finger gloves, yeah. I think I bought them on Amazon. Was it Amazon? Yeah, must be. Look, they're actually a bit thicker than well, actually a lot thicker than the Swedish military one, yeah. And they're really soft, and they're supposed to be merino wool as well, yeah. So you can't go wrong with this one. So depending on your style, so as you can already see, I'm going up from lower temperature to higher temperatures, yeah, where you can make use of woolly gloves, yeah. And well, and you spot the next one. Yeah, just a cheap working glove. Yeah, the cheap working glove. Yeah, I'm using, actually this one, this pair lives in my stove box. Yeah, the box for the winter camping with a tent stove. So they are actually, it's just cheap unlined leather gloves. Yeah, I think they are must be goat or something. Yeah, maybe even cheaper. And it's just like garden gloves, yeah, but they're quite strong, and they when they get wet, actually they get a bit uncomfortable, but they're soft, and I actually grease them quite a lot, yeah. And so they're really smooth, and they're good working on fire and wood, you know, and protect yourself from getting splinters or dirty fingers or whatnot, yeah, or burnt in the worst case. So just some cheap working gloves, unlined, yeah, just leather on the inside, nothing, no lining in it. So Next one, German military gloves. So, the German military glove, yeah, it's actually goat leather. They are lined. They got a lining on the inside. Let's see if it's a. Well, it's not wool. It's just some. I don't know, just some soft lining, yeah. And well, I use this one as in oversize in my pack, yeah, as an work glove for on the trail. They're cheap enough. They're some sort of 7 quid or something, yeah. The pair. I mean, you can't go wrong with 7 or 8 quid for a pair of goat leather gloves, yeah. And if you fancy, they do them in black as well, yeah. So look at that. So if you got a black coat or fancy the more night night color, let's see, liner in there, yeah. So this is a step up from the garden working glove, yeah, like DIY shop, you get them cheap. And the military glove, grey or black, depending on the outfit, yeah. If you want to go a bit more posh, you maybe go for the black. And as a practical working glove, the grey will do nicely, yeah. And what we have here, yeah. For some of you that may recognize that, I mean the hint is in the background, yeah. This is just the inner glove, the woolly inner glove of the Hestra. What's this? It's a Swedish or Norwegian glove maker, yeah. So I bought a set of spares, so they actually go in with some Velcro, yeah. So they attach on Velcro into the glove, so you can actually change them, wash them, use the Hestra. What is it? Hestra leather glove without the liner, and when it gets cold or when you want to change that because they got worn out or they're wet, you can change them over, which is quite a nice idea, yeah. And yeah, while we are on the Hestra glove, well, probably most of you bushcrafters know this glove already, the Hestra glove. It's written on there, look. And these are the white one. Many of you prefer the black one. Yeah, they do them in black and yellowish as well, or more brownish. This is a yellowish white one. Yeah, actually untanned. And yeah, many of you use them in the wild as a bushcraft glove. I mean, they're not cheap at all, yeah, and but they're very good quality, so I can highly recommend this one. And when you're really up to it, get a pair of replacement inner gloves as well. And well, obviously they last you for years and years. For my taste, they're a bit stiff. That takes a bit more strength on the fingers to grab something, yeah, because it's like a pre-glove, yeah. It's just like preset. I mean, if you don't grab anything, they are like that, stiff like that, yeah. So your hand is actually forced to stay like that, sort of, yeah. So you need some effort to make use of it. I mean, because they're pre-formed, I presume it makes it easier to grab some sort of, well, an axe or tools or walking stick, yeah. So or skiing stick. That's why they are. I mean, they're supposed to be winter gloves, but I've been freezing in these gloves as well. Yeah, so I'm not, temperature-wise, I'm not convinced about them, but they're very usable work gloves. And for bushcraft, obviously, the top notch, yeah, and well, it's not the end of the line, it's actually carrying on, look like that. Moving on from the finger glove to mittens. Mittens, yeah, this is the Woolpower double layered moppet. They're quite long. Let's see if you know, like they're covering your wrist quite nicely, and they're very flexible, and yeah, you can grab a stick or something or do something with it, very flexible. And the benefit is actually with this one, yeah, the moppet, you can put thinner gloves underneath, yeah. No matter if they are the fingerless or the short fingers or the full finger gloves in any size, because there's enough stretch in it to fit quite a bulk in it, yeah. So to keep you warm, if you don't actually need to grab something or need your fingers, this is a good choice, yeah, for walking or just you know. And when you got some thinner gloves underneath, finger gloves, yeah, you just take the mitten out and you still got your fingers covered with the thinner gloves, the finger gloves, yeah. So I really like this one, and yeah, carry on, next step up. And these are the Hestra mittens, yeah, that's the leather mittens. Yeah, they're a bit bulkier, they're a bit short for my taste, but when you got, let's see, when you got them on, they work quite nice in wet condition, yeah. So they're leather gloves, the same leather than the finger gloves, yeah, but and they're much wider than the Woolpower Merino wool mittens, yeah. So they definitely works as an over glove, yeah, and believe it or not, but they got a liner as well. Yeah, it's a removable liner, and this is the full mitten wool liner, yeah, but you could interchange that with the finger glove liner. So in theory you could have one glove of this, a spare set of finger gloves, and the leather mittens, yeah. So you had 3 gloves in 1 or 2 combinations, yeah. So and yeah, oh, just to mention that the gloves actually come with a little eyelet. Mitten got an eyelet as well, so you can actually put them on a string across your coat on the inside, and got this gloves dangling on the sleeve, yeah, which is quite practical, so you don't lose them or have to stuff them away. You just slip your hands out and let them dangling about and doing your things with your hands, and then slip into it again and keep warm. And for exactly that purpose, yeah, with the string, I got this Hubertus Loden hunting mittens. Yeah, I'll show you something. When I grab in there, I'll show you that. I really like this one. They're double layered woolly Loden. So I got my hand in, and they're like mittens, yeah, like, but look at that. You can take your fingers out. So while sitting somewhere in the woods with your binocular around, and you may just spot a bit of a deer or something, some wildlife, you can just, without taking the gloves off, yeah, take your, well, put your fingers out and grab whatever you want to grab. And when it's doesn't work. Well, yeah, and that's just slip your fingers back into it, and to give you a close-up, look, there's a slit in there, and you can actually take your fingers out, yeah, and got basically your fingers, and they're really nice. They're really warm and toasty. They're wide enough to put some thinner gloves underneath. Doesn't matter if they're liner or half finger or full finger gloves. You're well covered in this one. To complete that, look on the inside. It's basically a sort of a fluffier Loden. Yeah, what they called a pelt, like, you know, a fur, but it's woolly Loden. Yeah, it's more like a knitted Loden and felted, while the outer is woven woolly Loden, yeah, and felted. So, yeah, I altered this one a little bit. I stitched some loops on there, yeah, and put the string onto it. So actually they stay together, and I can put them into one arm and the other arm across my shoulder, yeah, and have this dangling on the sleeve without issue, and have some normal gloves like the half finger gloves, and when it gets cold I just slip my hands in it. Right, that's for the gloves. And now the let's see, imagine what that is. Yeah, I thought gloves, they are socks for the fingers, are they? Especially the mittens. So why not give you a quick introduction of a few different socks. I mean, this 3 socks, they are the Woolpower socks, yeah. So these are, the first one is a thin 200 gram, which I'm using for normal hiking, and when I'm getting warm, yeah, or when the environment is warm and just and they're easy to wash, easy dry, and I got lots of them. And when it's get a bit cooler, I got the 400 gram Woolpower socks, yeah, puts them in a different color scheme. It gives a bit more cushioning, and especially when it's get cold, or yeah, if you got a blister or something, it actually gives a bit more cushioning. And then we got the I think it's the 600 gram. There's a really fluffy one, and they're really warm. I mean, they're really warm. And the benefit is you can actually start while having them all together on. Yeah, if your boots are large enough, you can actually fit all 3 layered up like an onion. Yeah, but usually I only go for 2, basically using the thinner one as a liner, and then depending on the weather, I just take the next higher rated sock on top, and it keeps me warm enough. But to complete the thing, this is a longer sock. I mean, they are short ones, they're fairly short. I'm not bothering about the knee length socks, yeah. But anyway, I still got 1 pair. It's a bit longer, and they are the Lundhangs, the Swedish Lundhangs winter socks, yeah. And yeah, they're good for hiking in their Lundhangs boots, and if you want your calf a bit more covered, yeah. But I didn't took the gaiters with me today, but that would be the next step. I mean, I got my Loden woolly trousers, they're toasty, but when it gets really cold around your feet, on your lower leg, woolly gaiters would come into action, and protect you from wet and snow as well as thorns, yeah. And but that would be a special video I'm making up for. Right, we got the hands, we got the feet, and now I mean, the human loses most of this heat out of the head. Yeah, so it's always good. I mean, having something on your head, especially when you get a bit like bald, yeah, and a bit thinner spaced on your head, yeah, or shaved head. I mean, yeah, some of you like the shaved one. I don't. Anyway, the beanie one is a very good choice. You get in all sorts of woolly stuff. Yeah, this is a Woolpower beanie. Yeah, it's a double lined like the mittens, and it's a very good choice. Yeah, it's easy to stuff away in a pocket somewhere, and but they're not really waterproof. I mean, they're good for under a helmet or under another hat or something. Yeah, very flexible, and but they got seams. Yeah, and that's why I got this. I mean, you have seen this in some of the videos in Finland. This is the felted Hubertus Loden beanie hat, yeah, the hunting hat, and it's just a single layer knitted, felted, very tightly felted, soft merino beanie. Yeah, I'm using that as a nightcap. Yeah, in a sleeping bag, in cold weather, in a hammock, using this as a nightcap. So it keeps me warm really nicely, and it's soft like a baby's bum. And yeah, what is that? Another Woolpower. And this is a single layer, full head and neck. What is this? Balashka or something? I don't know. It's, I mean, you know what I mean. But this one in particular actually goes down your neck, yeah, and covers your neck. And just for completing this little video, I thought, yeah, it's worth mentioning it, because when it gets really cold, you want your ears and your face actually covered, and you can still combine this with a beanie hat or with a normal hat or whatever, because it's so flexible. You can just stretch it over everything and just layering up on your head and face area. Yeah, so that was the main video about my collection of hats, socks, mittens, single gloves and liner gloves, working gloves. Yeah, the whole lot. Look, the whole washing line is full of it. And yeah, look at that. That's where the washing line comes in action. And yeah, maybe give you a close-up. Look, it's just splitting apart, yeah, and it's only one finger, and the tension actually traps everything. So it means I don't need any sticks, and even when it's windy, you can actually look. It's shaking and nothing falls off, and that's why I put that on tension on the hook. Yeah. So this is my washing line I made up from dynamo string, and with the interchangeable, well, it's actually a twin line, and put together at some parts and then split up again and so on. And there's a special video I made for that early on, and yeah, so I think that's for now. Make your mind up what sort of glove or gloves, socks and hats became useful for yourself and to keep warm. That's something I really wanted to show you, where this gloves, actually this mittens, coming in really handy. Yeah, See, I got this the string. Usually I put that on the inside of my sleeve here, so they're hanging then out of the sleeve. But for what I wanted to show you, imagine you just, especially now for the hunting people of you, on the one day or watching wildlife, you got your binocular, and it's all a bit awkward with your gloves on, but you're sitting there for hours waiting for some whatever wildlife coming along, and suddenly it actually turns out of the wood, or out of the trees. So you don't want to rustle around a lot. You just slip your fingers out and grab your binocular, very silently, and actually can watching like that. And once it's getting too cold, just slip your fingers back into it. But to do some fine adjustments, it's always nice to have your, at least temporarily, take your hands out and be able to make use of your fingers, and that's a nice benefit of having this Loden gloves, that's the hunting version. I think what's it called? Not the Arctic one. They're the toasty. They got on. I put it in the description. I put the link onto this gloves, so you find that. And by the way, this is the see the yellowish in the background against my white beard. It's yellow on the inside. This is the successor of the East German size Jena EDF, and well, this is the civilian version, the safari version, which is actually bought by or made up by Doctor. This is the Doctor version, and that actually, particularly this one, is made up by the original military parts, just painted black. It's still green underneath the rubber, When I had a few scratches here on the middle one, and it's actually green underneath. So they just painted it black, put a different logo on, and left the infrared indications stuff out, but it still got the yellowish glass, and which cutting through mist very easy, very nicely, and it's very robust and small binocular. Just to mention that, which I'm fancying and having for years now. I even had it repaired, and because it was actually submerged on a canoe trip, submerged in the water, and eventually one of the eyepieces wasn't 100% waterproof. Usually this is waterproof, but obviously it wasn't 100%, so some moisture came in, so I had to give it to repair. And then actually I had it back. It took quite a few months, but I had it back, and I treasure that a lot. So anyway, as you can see, making use of mittens, winter double layered mittens, woolly mittens, Loden mittens, the Bavarian one, and for hunting, wildlife watching, very handy. Talking about feet, what do you do in cold weather? Having some boots, I mean, this one, and I just mentioned that, I'm really proud that I could manage to get this. They're actually the Russian military Arctic boots. They go down to -30 at least, In some cases they declare to -40, but I would rather stick to less. So let's settle for -30. Yeah, they're basically the shape of the Altberg boots, sort of, yeah, hiking boots, but they are really hefty lined. They are got half an inch padding on the inside all the way, and a really hefty sole. And yeah, I added that up with some more felt, the Hubertus felt soles, yeah, but they're really nice. They're flexible, good enough for walking. I mean, the pair of these boots actually they're both together 2.5 kilo. Yeah, it's quite a hefty load on your feet, so it actually pulls you down walking. But I mean, it takes more energy to walk, heating up, you know, your whole body. You need just more effort, and you can't walk as fast as you would do with the Altberg boots. Yeah, but the benefit is you won't freeze. Yeah, last weekend when I did this hammock video, I actually had cold feet in the end, and but on this one actually I'm boiling. Absolutely boiling with this Russian military boots. I mean, yeah, there's a winter edition, and I bought them cheap. I didn't even pay 100 quid for it, and they're really nice. And you really want to keep really warm and staying in the woods for days on end, yeah, or no end, it's a very good idea to have some really nice warm feet, yeah, because nothing is worse than having cold fingers or cold feet. So when I get to cold feet, what I always do with any boots I actually buy, usually they come in with a plastic footbed, yeah, like, and I prefer swapping them over to a felt footbed, yeah, which is just a flat piece of felt, yeah. I mean, I did show you this in some other videos. They come in pairs. I buy them usually from Hubertus Loden because they're really soft, yeah, and they're easy to take out and replace them. And yeah, on my last trip to Finland, when I had this really wet feet, I could just take them out, put them on a line to dry them up on a fire. And what I learned out of it, next time I'm taking a spare set with me. Yeah, I mean, they don't weigh a lot, and just for people, I mean, they do them up to the size 44, which is 11, is it 11? 10? No, it's 10, isn't it? Size 10. And when you got even larger feet, you can actually buy this as a square piece and then actually take your old sole and cut that with a large scissor yourself, yeah, draw around and cut that to your size you need. And usually I use that for as a padding for inside some self-made bags, yeah, for some more technical equipment, yeah, and to give it a bit more padding. And that's what I'm using this for. But it's meant, and they come in pairs as well, so you get two of these to make up your own soles, yeah. Put them into your boots and keep nice and toasty. So yeah, I think we got that covered today. And yeah, can't add anything. As you can see, it's lots of stuff to take care of when you want to go out in the wild. And yeah, you don't need necessarily any plastic. Everything here is what I did show you so far. It's actually mainly wool, leather, and yeah, old tradition lives the longest, isn't it? About leather and gloves, yeah? You may fancy woolly gloves and leather on the inside of your palm, yeah? Which is actually quite an advantage for grabbing stuff like a weapon or a rifle, stick, whatever, tools, yeah, to have more grip to it, yeah. You get this sort of gloves, but usually they're very expensive, and I tend to look out in this hunting department shops, and they even got, you know, like a little slit on the trigger finger, so you can actually poke your finger through in the finger gloves, yeah, and usually they got a palm from leather, which is actually benefit having more grip to your tools, yeah, be it a knife, an axe, whatever, a saw, yeah, and that's something I haven't got in my pack, but I always fancied getting a pair of this, but they're really expensive. I mean, they cost sort of the same money than the Hestra leather gloves, yeah. They're about 80-90 quid for a pair of woolly gloves with a leather palm, yeah. Well, depending on the location, if you use them regularly, yeah, if you're living in a cabin and need to do lots of work around the cabin, it's a consideration. If you go for leather gloves or woolly gloves with a leather palm, it's just an option I wanted to mention. Yeah. Right. I think that's so far today. Hope it's not too long, and I have to cut all this stuff together to make it worthwhile watching. See you next time. I may just, while I'm here, doing another video, but posting that later on. So probably do that, yeah, because I got the stuff with me. Yeah, I have to make time of it. So see you later. This was the glove, socks and woolly hat department, keeping warm in the woods. I mean, it's 1 degree. No, it's 0. It's -1 to 0, sort of, and I'm boiling. It starts, it's not snowing yet, but it's like, yeah, got all wet, condensation on my beard, yeah.